Takeover Films.
You can't be done.
Cuttin up the podcast.
What's up, everybody? I am Ola. This is D. This is Capri, and this is a podcast. Cuttin up. Today we have two guests with us today. I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourself. What's your name?
What's up, y'all? My name is Paul Leon.
Everybody clap it up for Paul Leon.
Ball with the ball, my nigga.
Yikes.
And go ahead and give us a little bit of information about yourself, what you do, what you want to advertise.
All right, very cool. So my name is Paul Leon. I'm the owner of PL Creatives. It's a creative art event management company located right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Currently, we have a couple reoccurring events that we do. Shout out to TT Nicole at House of Soul, Karaoke Wednesdays, every Wednesday, every week at House of Soul, from 8 to 12. We just did a time change to let the people turn up a little bit longer.
Hey, I love going to House of Soul,
Yeah,
man. Everybody,
man,
shout out
it's
to
a
House of
vibe,
Soul.
man.
Clap it up for
Shout
House of Soul.
Very good. And then shout out to my boys Mike and Will at Open Concept every Friday. We got Fever Friday. There's some 9 to 1. Clap it up for my people over at Open Concept. Yeah. So it's an unlimited open bar experience. So it's
Unlimited open bar experience.
unlimited drinks.
And where is this
Open
at
bar.
again?
This is in the Grove.
In the Grove.
Yeah.
And
it's
name of the
called
place?
Open Concept.
Open Concept. Open bar.
And it is definitely an open concept.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
Yep, it's a vibe. So it's great.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
shout out to you, everybody. Clap
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Clap it up. Now I'm going to go ahead and have you introduce yourself.
All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Dre. I go by Motivational Dre on all platforms. And I'm a founder of a marketing agency here in St. Louis. So we focus on back-end work for small businesses. As far as shout-outs, just to my organization, Man Up Global, we focus on the empowerment of African-American men, not only in St. Louis, but just all around the U.S. So.
Okay, that sounds dope. And if anybody want to get in contact with you about Man Up, how do they do that?
Yeah, our website, manupglobal.org or manupglobal@gmail.com. They can reach out to us.
All right, clap it up for Dre, y'all. And I don't know if we got your IG. Did you say your IG?
My IG is I am Paul Leon because that's my name.
Okay, Paul Leon, because that's who you are. And then yours.
Yeah, and then Motivational Dre.
How would y'all prefer to be contacted if somebody wanted to reach out to you?
I have no idea why we did it. IG, email. I got an email. I got a website. We got YouTube.
Yeah, if you go to
Facebook,
IG,
we
got
got
the
all
link
that.
tree.
Okay.
Link
Y'all should
tree,
have
all
the tree and then click on all of
All of
stuff
that. I
like that.
got all of that on there.
Okay, all right. And then, can't forget about the host. Go ahead.
My name is Capri.
What's up,
I'm
friend?
the co-host. Hey, friend. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at KellyCapri_.
Clap it up for Capri, y'all. You got any business ventures or anything that because we see you getting Instagram famous out here, IG famous, and
Just a little bit. But now, as far as business go, we just doing strictly real estate right now.
Okay.
But y'all might hit me up to be a brand ambassador. Slide in the girl DM.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
And then we got our main man D. Hey, don't get stuck now. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm all good. You already know what I'm like. Appreciate everybody coming out to Cuttin up once again, man. Y'all know we live and tuned in. So I am your host D on here, aka Gorilla the Barber. We in my spot, of course.
Plug.
The spot. His spot.
The spot, the right spot.
Right.
Instagram is _ I'm really him with 2 eyes and is. Once again, _ I'm really him with 2 eyes.
2 eyes.
That's how you do it.
Not 1 eye. And also you got the little DJ thing going on. I mean the big DJ thing going on.
Man, I'm practicing. It's just something I'm enjoying,
Yeah. No DJing today, but holla at them if you trying to get the DJ thing going on.
I was like, whoa, I was about to book you like just that quick.
Hey, you better. Hey, he got his turntables and everything like
ready.
that. You might even like cut you. Yeah, he got the things going on. Also, walking around here, we got MoneyBagLou. This cutting up thing is sponsored by Takeover Films. Shout out to Takeover Films. Clap it up.
Yep.
If you guys or you know anybody that's trying to get a podcast started, they want to get started, have them go to Takeover Films. We are doing a special right now. We still doing a special?
Yeah, of course we will.
Okay, yeah, we still doing a special. We having people come up, get comfortable in front of the camera, get your 15 minutes in, and just let that be the beginning of your podcast, and then just kind of go from there.
Nice.
Again, hit up Takeover Films. And shout out to Kevin, he just walked in.
My main man, Kev, what up, dog? Co-owner of the spot, you know?
And he just walked out. All right, so so today we're going to be talking about a few things. Are y'all historians? Y'all like history?
Nope.
Nope.
I like
Yes.
history. Yeah.
You like history? We know D like history. I'm gonna let D go off of it, but we're gonna be talking about St. Louis versus everybody. All right. So during this discussion, we're gonna be talking about the history of St. Louis for a brief moment. We're gonna talk about what St. Louis is now, and then we're gonna compare it with a few different things. You got a question? Oh no? Okay. You look like you was about to say something.
That's crazy.
We're gonna talk about business in St. Louis, the success, the failure, the love, the hate, what we're doing about it, and then how to network here. The first thing, I'm gonna give it to D.
What?
You said you was the historian. We're talking about the history of St. Louis, as far back as you can think of, not as far as you being alive, but
Right.
tell everybody who might not know. First of all, do y'all know anything about St. Louis, like the history, how it came up, when it was all anything like that?
A little bit.
So give me a briefing of what you know about St. Louis, like as far as it getting started.
Yeah, so I don't know if I know. See, it's just bad because I'm not a historian. I hate history.
That's cool.
But I will say that I do something that stuck out to me that I remember kind of learning from my grandparents was that a lot of our people traveled here and to escaping from like slavery and getting out of bondage and that type of thing. A lot of people travel from the South and stuff to the Midwest, and so that was something that really stuck out to me. So
Yeah. I sent a couple of videos to D, and I also did because I feel like the history of St. Louis is relevant to what it is today.
absolutely.
Whether we're talking about business here, whether we're talking about racial tension here, or even just how people deal with each other. But like D, I sent you that video and everything, and then you know a little bit about St. Louis. Talk to us a little bit about the history of St. Louis, how it started, a few things that happened, and everything like that.
Okay. On the spot.
On the spot. I
On
mean,
the
does anybody
spot.
else know about St. Louis history? You know?
Are we gonna bring
Nobody
you
else?
in?
Nobody else? Everybody's shaking their head. Y'all got to know about your own city.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. All right, so I'm gonna come back to the video.
You don't gotta be
man, but-
specific, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
no.
saying?
So like, as far as I'm going back, man, I ain't gonna lie. So St. Louis was, like he said, St. Louis was one of the major cities for everybody to stop through. You know what I'm saying? You had people coming from the East Coast, the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people coming from the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they are. If you look at certain movies like Ray Charles, or I think like Dreamgirls or something like that, you will always see St. Louis. They was always on tour coming here, and I think they was coming to the Fox. Facts. But man, we were popular, man. Not even over here, even in East St. Louis. But if y'all didn't know, I think it was 1906 or 1914 or 16, something like that. Don't quote me on it. But it was a huge riot over in East St. Louis. I don't know if y'all been over there before. Like, well, I ain't gonna say been over there, but if y'all noticed that like distinct burnt smell over there. The smell been over there ever since the riots happened. So the riots happened a long time ago to where I forgot the exact situation, but it caused to where like a lot of the whites were coming through, just demolishing neighborhoods, killing families and stuff like that, completely taking over just for a misunderstanding that happened in the city somewhere.
Do you guys know about the massacre of East St. Louis?
I heard of it, but
Yeah. So basically, from my understanding, as far as the massacre of East St. Louis, so people was moving from the South. Black people was moving from the South, and it was, leaving slavery, leaving all that behind, and they was trying to get jobs, start a new life. Yep. And of course, we like to move in communities of our own kind. Black people, feel safe around black people, don't have to deal with as much racism as you would if you lived in, diverse areas. So it was a black community, and majority of them stayed at the time in East St. Louis. And people was coming up a lot because St. Louis was supposed to be at one point in time, was one of the biggest cities in the country, right? So it was supposed to be the biggest city in the country. It was supposed to have all the best things. You heard of, was it St. Louis World Fair? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was supposed to be the biggest fair in the country, and it was supposed to stay like that. And a lot of things, I think, Juice, you was telling me that's why the water, like St. Louis has some of the cleanest water. Mm-hmm. That's because it was just set up to be one of the best cities in the country.
I got a question. Where do y'all get that from? Cause I googled it and that did not come up.
What, for St. Louis
Say this
history?
all the time. That St. Louis
Welfare?
has the best water and the cleanest water. When I Google it, that does not come up.
Hey, you're just gonna have to look it up again. Look, I don't have the information on hand, but just St. Louis was supposed to be that city.
So I know we were moving a lot of products and industrial, like we were big in
Manufacturers
manufacturing and stuff like that. So,
yeah, and what the thing that happened was, so this was probably before unions, right? So when people went on strike, normally with unions, when you go on strike, you lose that union. But they didn't have unions at the time. I don't believe they had unions at the time. So when people went on strike, they just replaced them with other people. And they replaced them with people who would do the work, which was black people coming from the South. So what they looked at it, they would replace people with black and white people. But it was so many black people coming from the South that was just ready to work for whatever, that we were targeted as taking their jobs. And what happened was it got to the point where racial tension began to start. And police had went down there, or people just went down there, white people went down there, and they just started shooting at the windows, throwing bricks at the windows and stuff like that. And then somebody got shot back by somebody who was armed. So that began something big. So they started throwing on the east side. It was a group of black people that stayed on the east side. They started throwing fire on the houses, and they were shooting everybody that came out the house. So they was burning the houses, and then they were shooting the people that burned the houses. They don't have an exact number of how many people died, but it was probably in the hundreds. Wow. And it's a famous East St. Louis massacre. It was a massacre that was done, and they tried to hide it, and they tried to say not that many people died. It was a bunch of misconceptions, but that happened, and that caused the racial tension in St. Louis that I feel like still exists today, because we got Ferguson that happened. It's always been tension between the races, or whether it's our race and authority and everything like that. So
it seems like it's always been like, who you trying to, what race trying to prove that they're tougher than the other one.
Yeah,
like, we're stronger than you, or we can beat you more than y'all can beat us, type thing.
And I feel like that just comes from the history. So if you have grandparents that was part of that racial tension, from massacres and stuff like that, and then you teach your kids, these people done this to us, and then they teach their kids, these people done this to us. That continues to have
trust them.
Yeah, that continues to have racial tension here, as far as in St. Louis. But St. Louis was supposed to be that city. They had the welfare was the St. Louis welfare was supposed to be the biggest fair in the United States, and we were supposed to have all these things going on. And what I think the fall of St. Louis. What would you think is the fall of St. Louis? Yeah, no.
The fall,
as far as why St. Louis isn't that city, or what started the decline?
Drugs. Absolutely.
What do y'all think started the decline from St. Louis being the biggest city to just being another city?
Lack of employment.
I would just say like growth of other cities and other cities becoming more attractive. I think just as people, we start to look for things that are new. And so if we see something else that's kind of up and coming, if it seems to be, you got to think about it. We especially our people, us black people, we were looking for a better opportunity. We were trying to get out of the bondage that we were in. So if things began to look better somewhere else, we're like, okay, that city is up and coming, and we're still dealing with that now to this day. The next big thing, like, you know what I mean. So I think that has something to do with it.
It's kind of lacking transition of time.
Yeah.
Like as time is going on, things are transitioning, become more modern, but we're far behind that, and we're not keeping up with the times.
Oh, y'all from St. Louis?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised from St. Louis. So what would you, how would you rate your experience in St. Louis? And y'all been in other countries, other cities and other countries probably too, but other cities and everything like that. What's your experience here in St. Louis?
I would say it's about, I would say first is about what you make it, It definitely is something like you got to have a strong mindset, because as a lot of people say, it's hard to sometimes get that support until you have already made it. I know for me, it's like I grew up, my dad being a pastor and stuff like that was always community focused, always figuring out how we can impact people. So that's kind of like what I kind of leaned into, and I realized that was a way to accelerate, kind of faster. And if we're talking like jobs and, industry, things like that, I definitely see how, because we had a lot of immigrants come here and things like that, and then they started outsourcing, with the manufacturing. I know, a lot of people came here for Boeing, a lot of other jobs now, and now things look a lot different. But I would say overall, my experience has been, positive, because I'm just always trying to get in the community and to see what the need is, rather than focus on negative, what's the positive, So that's kind of been my overall.
Yeah, mine's been like a roller coaster. That is literally just being honest. I think it's funny because I was just having this conversation. I for whatever the logic is, I definitely do believe that St. Louis is strictly what you make it. I think it will be whatever you create it to be. If it's dysfunctional, I believe that you create it to be dysfunctional. I'm not talking about the things that are not in your control. I'm talking about the things that, like the way you decide to kind of live and matriculate through this city. Yeah, like who you're involved with, who you're connected with. If you feel that St. Louis has nothing at all, you feel isolated, most of those people literally isolate themselves. If you feel that you are connected and you that dude, you that girl in St. Louis, because you have applied yourself to be in that scene, whether it's in the club scene, in the professional scene, whatever it may be. For me, growing up in St. Louis, it was, it was interesting. I was blessed to both be raised by my mom and then also my grandparents as well. So I kind of get that traditional upbringing, which for me it was really dope to have, especially because I was the only son from my dad, and I was the only grandchild from my grandparents. So
you only child?
No.
Oh, okay.
I felt real judged. They didn't even.
You only child? I'm gonna tell you about only child. Nah, I'm just playing.
No, not quite. There was a point in life where I was, yeah. But I would be honest, like especially now, like, and I was one where I moved around, so I was like, all right, cool, I'll get out. I was always working. My mom made sure I'll never forget her walking me to McDonald's. I was like 14. She was like, hey, you the manager? Hey, hire him. And I'm gonna sit right over here, and we're gonna do the interview. Y'all do the interview. I'm gonna sit right over here, and let me know what I need to sign. So it was kind of like I grew up knowing that I needed to work and kind of be out here and do what I need to do. But I fell into that St. Louis is boring type of situation. So I was like, okay, let me go off to school. Okay, all right, I'm done with school now. Let me go to Chicago. Let me go to Kansas City. Let me go to these different places and try to live and see what city is gonna be better than St. Louis. Because the people around me were like, man, St. Louis whack. Like you need to go to Atlanta, right? Go to Charlotte. And I tried to do those things. And then just for me to come back here and realize that my most success had come from being at home. But I had to really go on that journey myself to kind of understand what it was that I needed. I'm not saying that everybody needs to stay in St. Louis because maybe it's not for you. Yeah. But I think once you realize I think the problem is we don't always know what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So like if we learn what we're supposed to be doing, you can kind of be like, oh, okay, I know my place. Yeah. So I think once you learn what your niche is and what you need to do, I think you can kind of apply yourself a little bit better. Yeah. It has not always been easy, you know what I'm saying? Like I know struggle, so I've had that, but overall, St. Louis has been very kind to me. And right now, if you ain't for St. Louis, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills now. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming.
Shout out to the people that's for St. Louis. I've always felt like that with St. Louis, it's things to do, but it's not marketed correctly. You do marketing, right?
Yeah.
So based off of like how many you deal with a lot of people as far as with marketing, or do you just have like those set customers?
No, we do. Yeah, we deal with, everything from like brand influencers to big corporations.
Do you ever run into issues with people not wanting to do certain things as far as for marketing their brand?
Oh yeah. Every day. Every week I work with a lot of even hairstylists and things like that, and they kind of have this idea of what they want to do, but not what actually is going to bring in the bottom line income. You
right.
know?
So what are things that people want to do?
Everybody they may think like, oh, make me famous on Instagram, grow my following. But it's like, is that going to bring you actually loyal customers? Is that even your target audience? You're doing courses and things like that. You may have better opportunity building a community on Facebook or something. It's different things that they just kind of want the hype, like I am popular and famous, but it may not be the actual driving revenue. Right,
because I noticed that people can buy followers and stuff like that.
You can do bots, yeah, all that.
Yeah. As far as that goes, what do you think will actually help business owners and people in St. Louis with building their following or making their spot the it spot that they're not doing or not doing enough of?
Yeah, I think individuals got to focus in on like who their target audience is and what they absolutely like need from them. Like, what is your purpose? Because a lot of the times brands are trying to be everything for everyone, and it's just like that's not what you need to be. I know me and Paul even had questions with this brand. You know, he was like, "Hey, I'm ready to go to the next level. Like, what does that look like?" And we had many conversations. He applied those things, and now he's been successfully growing,
leveling
you
up.
know. So I think it's just like at the end of the day, like know your lane, and if you want to kind of like expand a little bit, maybe you can partner with somebody. Like for us, I mean, he does a lot. Actually, our organization partners with him. I mean, we are able to sell out events because, hey, we're not in the club scene. We're focused on men.
You said y'all selling out events?
Yeah, selling out like different events and things like that. And so
he's proud of that. He said, absolutely.
So instead of us like trying to like, you know, so we do like events like empowerment, but then like we have like an after dark scene or different things like a nighttime thing. Well, why try to create that when that's not our lane? That's his lane.
Right.
So we just partner with him. So it's like, again, going back to that, you don't have to be everything, but St. Louis needs more of that togetherness. I think that's why Chicago and Atlanta and those places have moved so fast, because people are like, hey, you got this, you in tech, you do, you know, and they start exchanging numbers and they start building.
And I will say, what the struggles, that was really good, Dre. I will say that the struggles that we see or that we come up against, I will tell you that my homies in other cities, they have the same issues. They talk about the same thing. They talk about the separation, the you know, the
is it just like
competition.
between like black people or just overall?
It depends on the industry. Like if we're talking about with like marketing professionals or even in event management, my homies that own like barbershops and are very successful business owners, like they deal with the competition of trying to be the best barber or trying to be the best event manager. Well, I'm gonna do a party this night or I'm gonna do an event this night, so we're gonna try to knock them out. And I believe in healthy competition. I do believe in that because I think it's growth in that. But at the same time, there are I feel like in St. Louis, we need a little bit more togetherness than we need separation, especially because we got more people leaving than coming now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah.
We were the place to come to, but we got more people leaving now. So why, you know what I'm saying, it's great to have, I believe in consistency. So PO creators, we do a lot of things weekly, not to get rich off of, but so that you can know that it's a standing event where you can go and have a good time at. You know what I'm saying?
That they can expect
something to expect and look forward to.
So do you think that people here in St. Louis that's in the same lane, let's say if it's like barbers, you think that they can do something collectively that, you know, all of them can win, like from your perspective, or like is it just always have to be competitive?
Man, there's so much money out there. There's so much opportunity out there. And I mean, just as I was writing some emails earlier, I mean, now our business, instead of me trying to like be like the number one black marketing agency, St. Louis, this like that, I'm partnering with other marketing agencies and other individuals and saying, hey, this client has $20K a month for us. I can't take it on by myself. You don't have to work under me, but let's come in together. To them, we just present as one brand, but we're working side by side. It's like there's no reason for us to try to, you know, try to take it on.
I think we actually got something going on with a couple of barbers, right?
Absolutely. All right, so STL Barber Vs Right. That's what we're doing. So basically going off how y'all talking about partnering with people and stuff like that. So of course it's hosted by The Spot, and what goes on is we'll take a barber. We take two barbers and we'll sit them right next to each other and they'll go at it with haircuts. You know what I'm saying? So the whole motto that we just came up with is called build the brand, not beef. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to MoneyBagLou with that. You know what I mean?
Shit.
But that's the whole thing. So basically that keeps down the commotion so we can work with other barbershops like Franchise Gallery, or we can work with Main Event or Hair Priority and stuff like that because we all on the same page. So if that kind of answers your question a little bit, that's what we got going on. So if y'all didn't know about it, every Tuesday at JC Supper Club, it's called STL Barber Vs. Come check us out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't need to end like 3-6 Mafia and them.
Nah, we ain't on the beat, man.
I think the only issue that really St. Louis has is about everybody want to feel like they did it first. Like, I'm the first to do it. I'm the only one to do it. I'm the first to do it. And it's like, does it really matter if you was first? Rather you was first or last. It's about who did it best. So with that being said,
Or who's consistent.
Or who's still doing who's still doing it.
Right, the long run.
You know?
So
A lot of people end up hurting. Let's talk about some businesses in St. Louis. Like we love to support businesses in St. Louis, but they are doing what? We want to support business in St. Louis, but they're doing what? Because we all like going to like, ain't doing what? Ain't doing shit. What places y'all like to go to, right? That y'all want to go to, but something is keeping y'all from going there. For violence. So violence is keeping you from going there. What else?
Yeah, that's a big
Definitely
one.
see that. Yeah.
Violence, people getting their cars broken into and everything
Yeah,
like
big.
that.
That's big.
Is
right
that
now.
something that's happening all over?
That's big right
Yeah,
now.
facts.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, safety.
You gotta think it's poor people everywhere. People need money.
That's what I was
Unprofessionalism.
going to go to. Yeah, customer service, I think, is what I hear the most. I mean,
Do you think customer service has changed since COVID?
I think it's changed. Yeah.
Like drastically?
Wait, can I get a point of clarity?
Go ahead.
Did you say? I just want clarity. Did you say St. Louis businesses? Is that all you said?
Well, business in St. Louis. If you notice anything out of town too,
No, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
St. Louis,
you
yeah, that's what he said.
You just said St. Louis businesses.
St. Louis
period,
businesses,
across
yes,
the- okay.
yes.
All right, thank you.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So
I just want to
I
make
mean,
sure. I get you.
I mean, yeah, I see it from a couple of different angles also. It's not just necessarily like COVID just changed things. I think from a, like, if you look at like financial, like, you know, you got these stimmy checks coming out. So like, I don't have to, because that's what happened to me.
Right.
I tried to hire, I was telling him I had trouble hiring individuals. I mean, we went to $40 an hour and people were ghosting me. And I'm like,
For $40 an hour?
$40 an hour because
Shoot, I work for- nah,
I had the stimmy check, you know,
Work
I
for
had
you
these
right
things.
now.
And so I think that it's a mix, and I don't down Gen Z or Gen X. I mean, I'm not saying all of them are entitled and all of them are lazy, but I think when you have as many options, when you can make money off of, I got my own time, DoorDash and Uber Eats and do whatever I want to do,
Yeah.
it has changed the game a little bit. So
Yeah.
I think that COVID had a little impact on, you know, when you walk into a building, they like, I ain't got to be here. You know, you got the viral TikToks, do
Yeah.
that McDonald's.
everybody want to make their own time and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I think it
with
has a lot to
COVID,
do
it just
with it.
really showed you at any time your job can be gone.
That's true.
I think that was something that triggered a lot of people to get that, just become an entrepreneur, because at any time something can happen and I don't have this job anymore, I'm furloughed and my bills still due. So now what?
Yeah.
So I think that triggered a lot of entrepreneurs for this
Yeah,
generation.
that's true.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, for what I do, it takes people to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were blessed, but it was a struggle. And I've been doing event management for over 15 years at this point. But I introduced PL Creators in February 2020, and I was going home. I was still working full time. I was going home in March of 2020 from my job. And I was like, so what we supposed to do right now? Like, I mean, like, how you supposed to have events and people can't come to events?
The
And
clubs
it
were
was
popping during COVID.
crazy.
The PPP boys was going crazy.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. And once I
Bottles was
learned
flowing.
that,
Everybody was happy.
look, once I learned that, I went right to Lowe's. They had a rooftop, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna sell this mug out every Wednesday. And we literally did that. But it was still a struggle though, because you go in when something is your baby, you go in with a big vision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, I know I can do this, and then you be like, well, you can do this, but you can only have 100 people.
Yeah,
You be
yeah.
like, oh, okay, all right, that's all I can make. Yeah, like that's
Yeah,
it.
they didn't
So,
care. Everybody was getting COVID. The club was
yeah,
packed.
facts. So
I don't think they ever went to
They ain't never shut down.
50% right.
yeah,
In some places.
Yeah, some places, yeah, for sure. So I think, and it's dope because like now, if people like, oh, how long you been started? And I'd be like, since the pandemic. They be like, you was working the pandemic? Yep. Literally, that was the year that I had the launch party, and we've been working since
made
that
a lot
year.
of millionaires.
Not me yet. I'm waiting on that though. That'd be real nice. It'd be real
I
nice.
think it definitely opens
But it definitely
opportunity.
opened a lot of
Yeah.
opportunities.
Because it's like now you're dealing with things that you never deal with. So
Facts.
new problems create new businesses.
yes, yes.
So when you have, and that's pretty much how you start a business. You got to think about what problems are out there.
And it definitely separated the hustlers from the workers.
facts.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gonna see who finna fall off, and we finna see who
You
finna
had a
come
lot
up.
of time to think.
Yeah.
You couldn't do nothing but think at some point. It was
Yeah.
like, think of your next plan. I need to get out of here. I got a
You ain't know.
spaceship out there or
Get
something.
in here.
Yeah, you want to say something? Go ahead, give me your name real quick. You know, even though you've been on her before, go ahead.
You already know, returning. How y'all doing? First off, my name's Chanel.
Everybody clap
call
it up
me
for
Neil. Everybody call me Neil. Instagram, _GOAT, _500. Hey, number 3, next thing, shout out to my cleaning company, St. Louis Professional Cleaning
Hey,
Services, LLC,
okay.
in case y'all
Business,
need some
business.
cleaning done, in case y'all need that.
Love that.
I just was gonna say back to St. Louis and like the business aspect. I think St. Louis business and our money look a little different than other cities.
So how's that? Business and money. How does it look different?
So you go to Atlanta, right?
Right?
We'll say you own a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
We gonna know you own a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? When you pull up, we gonna know you own a
pulling up.
restaurant.
Right.
You pulling up. St. Louis, we could own a restaurant. Your money just gonna look a little different. You probably won't be in a Rover.
Do you think it's because people are scared to drive those type of cars here?
I was just gonna get to that.
Yeah.
You can't walk around like that here. You'll
Yeah.
get cracked.
You
Your
have-
head
you have
get
to
cracked
hide your
open.
wealth.
You do.
Yeah.
You really do. Like I'll be scared to talk about what I got where I
Yeah.
stay. You know, it gives me anxiety. Like I don't want nobody to know. You know what I'm saying? I want you to think whatever perception that you think.
I want you to think I'm poor.
You have to.
I ain't got
though.
shit for you.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because you'll be hurt out here. You know. So that's like the downfall of it. Because if you go down south,
Everybody run fly.
everybody fly.
Yeah.
And then also, everybody business look different. I'm going to flip it vice versa. You come here, I could go to a girl boutique and she'll be like, oh, my boutique, it's going to look bomb. The boutique going to be beautiful on the inside. You know, couches, the furry little rugs, you know, all that. But she ain't selling shit. You go down south in the boutique,
Yeah.
it don't look like nothing, but they selling they shit out the gate. You know, out the door.
And it's so funny you said that because I went to, I go to a lot of boutiques and I went to one downtown yesterday. And when I came in, you know, most people, they be like, oh, like, hey, welcome in. I got 25% off. I got this coming up. When I said I walked in and this person was on the phone cussing, her friend gossiping. She said, hey, how you doing? I said, how you doing? That was it. And I was like, all right.
But it was fire, wasn't it? In the inside.
Terrible.
No.
It wasn't.
No.
But if you go to like some places, like when I go to Florida, they boutique, it don't look like nothing.
They can make a small space something.
Exactly. But the merchandise still
Yeah.
rolling out the door. I think here we so blinded by like how things have
Just
to
having
be
a business.
the perception.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
it has to be perfect. It has to be the right timing, as they say, for it to be for it to work. But down south, I go down there, it look like a shoebox. But everybody there working though. The whole family in there working.
It's the quality of business versus just like how it looks as
Yeah.
far as like the quality of the actual business. Like we're actually pushing products out, or we might not be putting money into how it looks on the inside, but we putting money into, you know, getting and marketing it out and sending them and shipping them and stuff like that. Because you don't just have to sell things out of your boutique, you can also sell things online and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it shows like ain't no the money here looks different. It goes back to that. It's like your business has to look this certain way, like a beautiful 4 doors. You know, I mean 4 walls. You know what I'm saying? But and you ain't really making no money for it.
I've definitely seen people with I used to work at that gas station on Natural Bridge and Page, I think. I don't know if y'all
Don't they run the same way?
is it Natural Bridge and Page? I think it's Natural Bridge and Page. It's a Phillips 66. Natural Bridge and Page. And the owner, what's his name? Jeff. I think his name Jeff. They're all Arabian. Is that the correct term to call? Arabian. And he used to park outside. He used to have his Beamer. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Natural Bridge and Young.
Is it Natural Bridge? No, Natural Bridge and
run the same
Page.
way.
So hold on, you get off on Page.
He's
So
not
this is
from
Page.
St. Louis.
You get it says a Page, and then it's Kings Highway, or maybe it's Kings Highway. Kings Highway and Natural Bridge.
Yeah, Kings Highway.
Okay, Kings Highway and Natural Bridge. He used to always have his. He used to always. It's a couple of Arabs that own that building. They got, and then they have other places like King's Market and stuff like that. And the owner, the oldest guy, the daddy, he used to always have his. I think it was a Bentley, parked outside every time that he come through and everything like that. What do you say about people like the owner of Sweetie Pies? They used to have their car and everything out there outside of the place all the time. I even used to see them at Gold's Gym before they closed it down on Lindbergh and stuff like that.
I think it just depends on the kind of person you are. Like when I see black people like living nice and living good, I'm like, dang, like that's what's up, y'all. Like I'm trying to be like y'all. But some people look at it as like they doing too much. But it's about your mindset. Like,
So-
a lot of people have hater mindsets.
So we're gonna talk about the hate first, then we're gonna talk about the love, so we can end on a little bit more positive note.
Man.
So y'all have done business here. You tried to work with people, network, and do things like that. What are the difficulties? What is the hate that sometimes you deal with when you're trying to either do a campaign or you're trying to get everything done? Like, what are people doing that's stopping you from succeeding? I'm talking to you.
Ooh, this is a setup.
You don't have to say nobody's name specifically.
No, I'm kidding. I don't-
Because they say
I
St.
really
Louis.
don't care. No, I'm kidding. But no, I would say some difficulties have. First of all, a couple things. You mean from just other people in the industry, or do you mean like from guests?
Everything.
All right. First thing is y'all don't read. So
That's a lot
I
of people.
support that.
yes, like y'all do not read. Y'all do not read. If we put up a flyer with the details, read it. People come to my door asking questions that's on the flyer. And you'll even go as far as go on Eventbrite, scroll through, press tickets, and buy the ticket, and then come to the door and don't read. Like if we say no big bags, or if it say, whatever it may say. We may say, I've had people that have missed their blessings. You come up and be like, you get 2-for-1 tickets. And then they come up and be like, they'll come and they'll just be paying. We be like, why you paying for the other person? We be like, cause they want to get in. I'm like, your ticket say 2-for-1. Oh, it do? And I was like, but come on, give me that 22, because you came here ready to pay. Yeah, the biggest thing, and I think, especially you got to think about it from an event manager standpoint, we try, a really good one, tries to cover all entities and all language to make sure that you are accommodated. A good one does. I get it. It's some shady people out here, but whether they call themselves an event manager or promoter, very rarely will you hear me refer to myself as a promoter. And if somebody does call me a promoter, I typically correct them because I manage events. I don't just promote them. And I think when somebody is in management, they strive to give you everything that you need so that you can have a good time. So that's probably my biggest pet peeve when it comes to guests.
Want stuff at crackhead prices.
What'd you say?
They always want stuff at crackhead prices. Like they
I heard somebody come from Atlanta.
And my stuff not even expensive.
I've heard somebody come from Atlanta and say that people in St. Louis, let's say you got a boutique, y'all could be selling the same thing. Somebody's trying to underbid the next person. So y'all both basically trying to underbid each other, making y'all broke.
Yeah.
Is that something that happens?
That's weird. I don't do that. I don't know. That's weird. But I will tell you, like, in the hate part is, I think I don't remember who said it earlier, but like just that competition piece. Might have been me, but when people see you coming, they see you doing other things, they feel like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and try to do something too, since they doing something, and you'd be like, well, y'all ain't did nothing in like 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, like, you're doing something, and then people want to try to top that, right? Like, be on top of that.
Like that, I just think like, I thank you. I get to give you the motivation. If that's what it takes, then then go ahead and do it. If it take you looking at me doing good for you to do good, so be it.
I think what's interesting about that is for me is there's nothing that I do to get rich off of. My stuff is low. I won't say it's cheap, but it's low. It's low in cost. You know what I'm saying? And so everything that I do, PO Creatives is about the creatives and those that are owning businesses and trying to use our gifts to operate. You know what I mean? Every event that we do, whether it's a karaoke, open mic, a paint sip, whatever it is to allow you to have some fun. People always like, oh, it ain't nothing to do except go to the club. You know what I'm saying? But I think my point about that is that providing experience. If you provide an experience, people gonna want to come because you organize,
right?
Because you start on time, because you gonna actually give them what the tickets say they can have,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like customer service. And I think, but people typically battle us, and you start hearing rumors. Then you start hearing stuff like you ain't paying people. Then you start hearing all that kind of stuff just because people look for other things. You know what I'm saying? To try to come against you.
Have you ever been like, I've heard, and I think there we was talking about somebody specifically that was trying to do something new here in St. Louis, and they was getting backdoored by the places that they wanted to hold their events at.
Look at Darian. Who said that?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know.
You know what I'm talking about? So have you ever dealt with that? Like.
What was the question?
So it was like, okay, the Freaknik.
All right. What?
That was an actual event.
The Freaknik, yeah, it was a big event.
Yeah.
Anybody
There
had go
was
to
some
the
people on
Freaknik?
Facebook just put an event together.
The Freaknik was amazing. First off, let's shout out
Pat.
let's
Big
shout
Pat.
out Patrick. Number one.
Yes, sir.
A black man through a huge event like that.
Facts.
Number
Successful.
two, a gay black man in
Facts.
St. Louis that this never been done before through an event that huge to that
Successful.
magnitude. Can we clap it up for him? Can we please?
Let's clap it up, y'all. Clap it up.
Yes, sir. And he's a good person too.
Yeah, I
he's a
seen
dude.
that event. I just congratulated him because in the city, we as people, we really don't support the gay community and plus the black male gay community. We don't support that at all. It's either some got to be on the Grove for it to get supported, but he took his always to what was that, Broadway?
So I heard it was supposed to be a couple of different places that it was supposed to be.
It started out in a park with
So it started off. It started off in the port because the mic right here. You want to get on? You want to get on here? Yeah. So you said it started. So it started off at the port.
All right, it started off at the park, and I don't know the exact issue of what happened that prevented him to go further with the park, but he ended up leaving from the park, and if I'm not mistaken, he went to Nations. So Nations also denied him too, but then came back with the same idea that was definitely not as successful as his
So
was.
sold his idea after he presented it to him.
So that happened. Then we told him. So we know Reggie real good at JC Supper Club. Of course, that's where we do our Tuesday nights at.
Right.
So we hit Patty. We told him. We said, go ahead, holler at Reggie and see how that'll work out. Come to find out, I guess they already worked it out, and that's where the event was successful. That we had everybody at the St. Louis.
And it was at where again?
JC Supper Club.
Okay, shout out to JC Supper Club, y'all. Everybody clap it up.
JC Supper Club for sure, for sure.
At the same time, when something is meant for you, it's meant for you. Like,
Right.
whether you copy me or not, guess what? That's my vibe. You can't take what I created. You can take the swag, but it's something about me that makes it even more lit that you don't have. So with that being said, you can try to backdoor me. You can try to do whatever. What's meant for me is gonna be meant for me,
Nah, facts.
and it's gonna be amazing.
Have you guys?
I think in business though, like
It's my business etiquette. You should have some type of business etiquette.
I think in business there's no such thing as like copying, in my opinion. It's like it's all about influence. You know?
Yeah.
I'm an influencer,
Influencer.
so you're going to do things after me. It's like
Yeah.
being an older sibling, in a way. Like you have younger siblings who watch you and they're gonna mark you. I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad because you can't do it like me.
I'm cool, and
that's fine.
That's
Yeah,
it
it's
too.
cool. Yeah, if
There
I
will
motivate
always-
you, you welcome.
Exactly. There will always be one. So even when I see or I heard anybody going after me, there's no ego involved in it. If anything, there's more gratitude.
Yes.
Right.
My
it really
thing is, I don't, with business that I had done, my thing is I wouldn't call them enemies, my
Somebody get sus a
frenemies. Huh?
Somebody get sus a chair.
Yeah, yeah.
She need a chair.
I'll grab a
Go
chair.
ahead. Keep talking now
But,
until we.
my frenemies just look different in
Yeah.
my business when it comes to it. It's like you might work with me, right? I might hire you. You work with me. We cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool as in we have a relationship based on this business. And then after a while, you might work with another employee. We all go to work, so you all work with employees. You guys get to discussing business, wages, and all that other stuff. And then some people get to taking things personal. That's how my backdooring looks, which I don't get mad when it comes to. Thank you, I appreciate being a gentleman. Thank you. I don't get mad when it come to business though. It's no friends
Yeah.
in
Yeah, it's
business.
not.
It's none. Like it's go be that every man be for itself in a certain way when it come to business. Unless it's a group thing, then that's different.
But people have to understand what you put out is what you get back. Just always know that.
Exactly.
Paul, you look like you got
Exactly.
something to say.
What you have to say, friend?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the problem, or I don't even call it a problem. I think it's just a challenge that I think we need to kind of keep fighting for. It's just, I'm gonna kind of go back to this. When you learn your lane, it's just some stuff just don't matter. When you know what you're providing, you're confident in the experience that you're providing, and there is a separation. Like I said earlier, like you won't hear me refer to myself as a promoter because promoters typically go after making the money for that event. Like, I'm gonna have a club night because I know it's money in that, so I'm gonna do that because everybody want to go to the club. But when everybody can do that. Everybody can provide an experience though that keeps people coming back every single week, week after week. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that strictly because that's something that PL Creators does. I mean, literally, you wake up when you go to your job. If you still work somewhere full time, you work 9 to 5. Once you have the confidence in your job, you literally be like, I know that I'm really damn good at what I do. Right. So when and that flows over into how much you charge. That flows into how much time I give you. All of those things because you are confident in who you are. But until you get to that, all of that little stuff gonna matter to you. Like what people saying, what they doing, who else doing something on that same day, how many barbers are around, how many people doing hair, how many videography companies are there, how many production companies. Because Dre said something very powerful earlier. He says a lot of money out here.
It is.
It's a lot of money out here. So what that says to me is that that's easy access, but it is not a lot of good customer service. It is not a lot of places you can go and feel safe. It's not a lot of places that's going to give you what you pay for. So once you learn how to provide that, that's when I think that you'll be successful. So the hate comes from people not being able to do that versus they could have more money than you. It's promoters out here that make a lot more money than I do a night. They do not provide the same
And
experience.
it's also about, doing something that you actually care about and that you love, and not just doing it for the money.
Facts.
If you're doing it
'Cause that's
because
gonna
this
come.
is something, because this is your baby, and this is something that you really care about, you're going to provide that experience. You're going to cross your
Absolutely.
T's and dot your I's. So if you're just doing this for the money, you go like, you go slack somewhere. You're like, oh, fuck, I don't give a fuck.
And it's
I'm
gonna
make my
last
money,
longer.
and
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
It's service first. You know what I'm saying? And everything falls behind the service. It's all about serving. If I'm in a relationship, no matter how it looks, I serve you in a way. I get something from you, you get something from me. The bonus is the money go come behind it. That's the way I look
I
at it.
feel like people are getting caught up in being the boss.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur, being like on top of everything, and being antisocial. It's like how you supposed to, be on top and deal with so many people and not know how to deal with so many people.
Because a lot of people don't have boss qualities. Like, you just want to be a boss, but you don't really have what it takes.
What is a boss?
Your
What'd you say,
attitude
Gangsta
is
C?
trash.
You cannot be a business person if you're not friendly for people who can't say that.
Say that again. That is so good.
Message.
So good. That
What
is
is
so
a
good.
boss? Like that's
That's
so
so good.
cliche. Like
It is.
what
Like
is
no
a boss?
matter what you do, you're always going to be providing for somebody. You're always going to be serving somebody in the aspect. Which I want to switch it over, and I want to talk a little bit about this: the love in STL, the real love and the fake love. I heard. Like, let's say in other cities, people they consider it fake love. Does that matter? Does fake love matter?
To business or to my heart? That's two different
We're
things.
talking about business. Does fake love matter? Does fake love matter to business?
Not to me.
Somebody said, you said no?
I don't really think it matters.
No.
Just-
Not to me.
I think it depends on your service.
Business-wise, it
I think it
definitely
depends on the service that you offer.
Uh-huh.
Like if you own a restaurant, it kind of be weird for somebody to really not love your food but come in there all the time. So you start to question like what you in here for. Like you know what I'm saying? Are you coming in to be critical? Like when you leave here, are you writing articles about me? Are you writing bad reviews? Like which one you smile in my face, Now you coming to a karaoke night, it could be the same type of thing, except I really ain't missing much from you doing that until maybe you getting on social media, you start doing all that, but yeah, you keep showing up. I think it's not something that we can necessarily avoid because people are people.
Yeah.
Like people
And
be
that's
people
just
in
weird
life
at
for
that
real.
point, you doing it.
Huh?
It's just weird at that point.
It does get weird.
Now it becomes weird.
It does.
It's like,
but,
what?
But like if I come get my haircut and I keep coming to get my haircut and I be like, man, he all right. I'm on the street talking, all stuff, but I come in here like, man, bro, you hooked me up. Bro, I was so fly for Christmas. All my uncles wanted to cut. Like, if I come in saying, yeah, I'm saying that to you, but I'm on the street like, I mean, it's cool, it's whatever.
But then
But
people
yeah,
are
I'm
like,
still
well, nigga,
patronizing
every time
you.
I see you, you got your haircut by him. So
Absolutely.
do you love the nigga or do you not?
Absolutely. So to you, it might not matter that much unless you care about your shit. Because those are not the people you want sitting in your chair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking about the fake
Because
love people?
Yeah. That's not the people that you want sitting in your chair. Because you might find out about it and you may want to address it. But like, bro, do I not provide that type of quality to you?
Hey, it's not happening to me.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Because you don't want nobody walking out of here doing that because that's your brand, bro. Like, that's your brand. So you can't avoid it, but at the same time, at some point, in my opinion, address it.
I just feel like that just comes with it. Like when you're the greatest of them all, you're going to have fake love. Like that just comes with it. I might go out. I swear to God, there's been times I
avoid it.
say, I feel like some cliche shit. I could feel that at times. I want some cliche shit around me. I'll go out just to get some fake ass love, some fake ass cliche shit. Seriously, certain environments, you have to know how to go into different rooms and see what it is and see the purpose out of it. Certain environments, it ain't meant for us to have deep talks like this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I can't go to the club and be like, yeah.
Can't
what's
talk
your
it out at the
aura?
club. You
What's
like-
your aura? Like,
I've heard people-
like, what is it? No, like, it's certain environments. So, back to what you saying. If I have a client like that, my work speaks for itself. I don't give a fuck. Like, I honestly don't. I don't care. At the end of the day, you might say, this cut fucked up. But then he might say, boy, he lined you up good. That's his opinion, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can...
Because you're gonna go out there with.
You going out there with my service,
Yeah.
worn on you, on your body. Everybody got a different perspective
Right.
of my service. I have nothing to do with your opinion of my service. Definitely when you come back to get served.
Because the reason I ask if fake love matter, I hear people talk about when they go to other cities that it's a lot of fake love. Do you feel like when you go to other cities that might be a lot of fake love more than there? Do you feel like St.
I
Louis?
feel total opposite.
I mean, I think, fake love comes with being great, like she mentioned. Like at the end of the day, like my mentor taught me this. He said, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. I mean, because 80% of the people walk around in life and they're not happy with themselves.
Right.
So when they come and they, are looking at you and talking about your service, things like that, it's just, that's some insecurity, something that they're dealing with.
Right.
Has nothing to do half the time with what you got going on. So, I mean, I think fake love just comes with being great.
Do you guys ever have anybody in here ever worked with somebody that they don't like but had success from it? She says, I got one yes.
Not as an entrepreneur, no. Now in corporate America, yes.
Have you ever worked with
Corporate
somebody?
America,
Have you
yes.
ever worked with somebody that you didn't like but you got success from it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In corporate America.
That's 2, 3.
But I'm not gonna hire them.
And I'm gonna respect.
I'm talking about maybe somebody that might be on the same
if
level
you don't
as
like
you.
me, and I know you don't like me, and we not on there with each other, but we do damn good with each other. I can respect you. I can respect you. I can't. I've been used to motherfuckers being my friend, but backdooring me. I'll take a motherfucker who I don't care for you, you don't care for me, but we can make something happen.
It's because
together.
you know where I stand. So people have to learn to categorize people like, you're my friend. I have associates. I have bitches I wait to in the club. I have business partners, and I have people I work with.
Exactly.
I don't know. So I don't speak on a lot of things for certain people. I do that for my friends. But if I know I just see you in the club, we ain't friends. You hey girl in the club.
Dre, what's your take on working with people that you might not necessarily be cool with or like just be cool with, but y'all do business well together? Have you ran into that?
Oh yeah, I have ran into it, but I worked my butt off to make sure I'm not in that position anymore.
Yeah.
Like even just what I guess
He's like, it's a particular moment. He was like,
But yeah, I mean, and that's it. I mean, I think like that what was just mentioned. There are times where even with our organization, we partner with some individuals where we didn't necessarily want to partner with them, but we wanted to, it was about the end goal. We wanted to reach a bigger audience, and we knew they had the audience, and we said, you know what, let's partner together. Let's keep it there, and we do.
Would you still do something like that if it was a bigger end goal and it seemed pretty possible?
Oh yeah, I'll do anything for the people.
And I feel like at the same time, like, what if you just make so much money with this person? It's kind of like, bitch, I might have to like you. We didn't make so much money together, bitch. I might just like you. Might be all right.
I don't gotta like you. We just gotta respect.
You might be
each other.
all right.
We don't gotta like.
We gotta stick within the lanes of what our business is.
I would go a little bit further. We gotta have the same vision though.
Yeah.
Like we
Same
gotta.
vision, same goal,
If I'm a partner with you, we gotta value the same. And I don't mean we gotta be the same, but we gotta have the same. We gotta at least agree on the same outcome and the approach. Like, because if I'm customer service driven and you not, but yet you still in front like you are, we're gonna have a conflict, we have a problem. And it don't matter. Like, yeah, we can make all the money. That's great. We know we all need money to survive. Like, we get it, right? But that ain't even what we talking about right now. We're talking about how people, the character of a person. And when you know what that vibe is, like, it don't matter. Yeah, we may make a lot of money. But at the same time, like, if we're not lining up the same in the end, in the long run, in the end, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out, or we're gonna have a conflict or a problem, and you don't know conflict management. And when we have a conflict, we're gonna have a real big problem.
The same vision, it can always be like, friend, I ain't good with conflict. Can you take care of that part for me?
Right.
We still this together. You might not be the best at customer service, but I am. You might be like, friend, like, can you do the customer service
Facts.
part for me?
Yeah,
It's not working as a team and just knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Does anybody know who I think his name is Herman J. Russell is?
We was in public school.
So Herman J. Russell, he is basically an entrepreneur that from way back in Atlanta, and from what I've looked up, he was one of the people that basically help Atlanta become what it is for black people, right? So Herman J. Russell, he started off, it was two things that kind of held him back. One, he had like a lisp, and he has something else going on. He has some type of disability going on. But what he did was, despite, whatever issues that he had, this was back during the segregation times and everything like that. He went to school, became the best at what he did, and then provided services to people, still being the best, but to like white customers. Because at that time, they didn't want to hire nobody black. But if you was the best, you was the best, right? also had representatives that came and, like, you know, sometimes you still have to do this now. If you want to get a certain spot in a certain place, you might have to have somebody represent you in order to get that spot, because otherwise you might have to deal with like racism, they're gonna prejudice or whatever like that. So, and what he did was, like, for example, white people might not want him working for them, but they need their elevators fixed. And if you was the best one, you finna get chose. Like, that's just what's finna happen. And what he did after he got success from doing contracts with, you know, people who had the money at the time, he created schools for other black people in such a way where you had to be the best, and you was gonna learn things that you wasn't gonna learn in any other school. And I think that really helped with, like, you know, the success of Atlanta, because, you know, they have, I was looking up the success of Atlanta, like, why is it more successful? And they have, like, Coca-Cola, I think, was made from Atlanta, made from somebody that's in Atlanta. You know, I'm gonna ask this question too, like, what is St. Louis missing out on, or what do St. Louis need more of? But they had Coca-Cola, they have tech companies and stuff down there. They have a lot of things that support the airport. Has people coming in and out. Don't Atlanta has like one of the biggest airports
Yes.
in the country? Yeah,
Man.
yeah.
I think it is the biggest, if I'm not mistaken. It's either that
They
one or I
have one of
believe
the
Miami.
one of the biggest airports in the countries.
Definitely top 3.
Top 3. So with that being said, I want to talk about what we can do here, because he was one person, but I feel like he did a really big contribution. What we can do, what are we doing about the issues in St. Louis? What are we trying to create? But before y'all answer that question, what do St. Louis need more of? I put this on my Facebook and
Better
I got a lot
attitudes.
of responses.
Yeah.
Okay, better attitudes.
Better attitudes.
Okay, that's gonna be a little hard.
I think St. Louis Mits. First off, I was very intrigued by the way you knew St. Louis history. I love history.
Yeah.
That's my shit. But St. Louis is missing the evolution that other cities has had, and we're trying to have our own evolution, but it's like we're wasting money. And I'll give you some examples. Think about the Mills Mall. Do y'all remember the Mills Mall? You know how huge that was? Do you remember when they built that? We only was... Huh?
You used to skip school to go to the Mills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Mills was huge, and it looked like it would be great on paper. That went down because the black people came in, and, you know, white people, and you know how segregated St. Louis is. If you look at if you go to the Delmar Loop, the trolley they put in the Delmar Loop that they spent like I think $9 million of our tax dollars on that. If you know anything about the history of St. Louis, we were like the first ones with the trolley and all that. They went and tried to reinvent that. I don't think, in my opinion, this just mine, I don't think black people had any say-so and stuff like that. I think it's our Caucasian brothers and sisters that's making...
Lou like to say counterparts.
I feel like they're the only ones to go to like city meetings and stuff like that. We don't do that type of stuff. So it seemed like they have more say than we do. But
Exactly.
when they have like flyers,
Nobody's showing up.
City hall meetings,
Yeah.
nobody shows up.
But it's not nobody showing up. They don't market it to us. It backs to go to what you were saying with marketing. They slick ass with it. It's not like, oh, we all see it on our Facebook and Instagram posts too that they finna have this event.
But at the same time, we've been around long enough. We know how this go. Like, we have all been around long enough. We know how the voting system go and how we get stuff to happen in our own communities. Nobody's going to speak for us but us.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I just feel like a lot of times it can be a lot of excuses. Also, with St. Louis, I feel like the energy here is so much on violence. It's all about, oh, I can carry guns and I can kill and I can rob. And it's like, that's not cool. Like, we make the wrong things cool to me. That's why so many men walk around with
That's
purses
good.
and guns and
That's good.
listening to Lil Durk, and that's not cool. Like,
But that ain't all the black people in St. Louis though either. Because if you look at when it come to spending our tax dollars, I don't care what color you is. We all pay I pay taxes. I don't know about y'all. I pay taxes.
Look, not everybody. I mean, I
so
do, but not
I pay
everybody.
my taxes.
Well, you know
So
what? A lot of people here, I know they pay their taxes. 'cause tax season
I
is a
should
big
have a
thing
say
here.
so. And it seems like it's nothing for the black community. Right now they building a soccer stadium downtown.
Actually, I was like, when did St. Louis get a soccer team?
Exactly.
I was
But
very
if you
confused.
We been number one in soccer though. When I went off to Jeffco, I went to a school called Jeffco. It's in Hillsborough, Missouri. All African people was coming from Africa to go to school there to play
Africans love
soccer.
soccer.
We got
Never
some,
knew
we,
that.
we got some top schools here in
We do. I never knew that until years ago when I was in college. But think about that. If I'm in school, we in high school, we should know that. If in my school, my students don't know that. If I would never told them that, it's still how it's way it's marketed. I don't care what color you is, you know.
Yeah, when they promote or advertise St. Louis, they promote Central West End, they promote the Delmar Loop. Those are the things that they're promoting. Maybe even Forest Park and stuff like that. I'm gonna ask the audience, because we got an audience here, and when they give me the question, I'm gonna ask y'all, what can y'all do about that? All right, as if y'all can fix everything. Okay.
Right.
All right. So, what do we need? What do we need in St. Louis to make St. Louis better? Support. All right. So, what are y'all gonna do about support in St. Louis?
Oh, I mean, I would say that, the support, it kind of comes to, I would say love, I don't care if it's fake love or real love. I think love in general is where it starts. And with that being said, it's the exposure. Because if I'm we show love, it's pouring back into that next generation.
Right.
And so when we think about why money's not here, why we don't have tech, why we don't have all these things, when nobody's exposing these individuals too. Like with our mentorship program, we're exposing young men to and it's not all about STEM and coding and all that stuff, but just the fact that, I just told my friends now, I'm getting all my friends hip to Scrum Master. That's like an opportunity.
I took that course.
You know
What is that again? What's
Scrum Master? Keep it really simple. It's like you're like a team lead. You're motivating a team. It's like if y'all were developers or engineers or whatever, I'm just here saying, hey, are we staying on task? That starts at $115,000 a year.
Very good money.
Most people know that. I've gotten
Square Master?
Scrum. No, look, for real. I have had 5 friends, and I told everybody about this. In the past 6 months, I've had 5 friends that were teachers and all this stuff go from $30,000 to $40,000 to now $115,000 in 6 months.
Scrum Master. All right,
Please.
Write that down. Scrum Master.
No, for real. And it's just one. It's like you pass the test, and literally, you work on some interview questions and like that. But it's exposure. It's like that love and like what's out there. So. When we talk about, we need to support this and that, no matter if it's fake love, real love, we need to support it.
If they show up, they show up.
Show up.
If they pay for it, they pay for it.
Another thing is people, they be scared to tell other people to put them on. A lot of people don't know, Google offers a lot of certificates for free. Like when it comes to tech and stuff, you get a job in tech. That's a good job, especially for Black women.
Hey, cybersecurity is hiring.
Yeah.
I don't know. People been sent. Oh, I've been getting advertising for cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some people make up to what, $400,000? Is that correct?
You
You can at least get $100,000 in cybersecurity.
I'm sure, yeah.
They don't want to put the next person. I don't want to tell them, hey, friend, this is going on. Let me show you how to do this and do that.
And
It's always, I want to keep it to myself. I ain't putting you on because you want to feel higher than that person.
You want to feel like that you the man.
And I think, so yes, that's a perspective too, but it's only so much that an individual organization can take when they're burnt or hurt a lot, because there are a lot of people that have been hurt, or just backhanded,
and they don't want to do nothing with nobody else.
Because people have just literally stole from them, or all these different kind of things. Like we talk about all these different type of hurts that we go through.
Right.
Stuff like that's life. You have to realize that. That's life.
but it is life, but it's also a real situation.
Yeah.
So especially if you gave your all. I just ran across a show called Bigger. I don't know if y'all heard of it. Bigger on BET Plus. I have no idea why I'm watching it. I just ran across it, but it was like this. There's this character, and she's a real estate agent. Oh, friends, he real estate. So she do real estate, and she was driving crazy. It's based in Atlanta, and she's driving through Atlanta, and she saw a billboard of another real estate agent that she used to work with, and she got real mad. She was like, she used to run my coffee, and now she on the board, and now she's selling houses and all this kind of stuff. And so there was this whole scene where they were bidding on if they want to buy this house or whatever. And she was trying her best to cap her, because she had felt like we in competition now, because you used to do this with me and all that, and now you trying to excel past me. What I think we haven't gotten to yet, and I ain't kept watching. I don't know how much I'm gonna continue, but I'm pretty sure that there's some sort of backstory there on why she's really so mad at her. Because I don't think it's about the fact that she's just a real estate agent. I think it has something to do beyond that, because we'll try to help people and try to give them the game. Now, I don't think there's nothing wrong with we're not talking about people that succeed more than somebody else in the same field. We're talking about somebody that has deliberately hurt you while you try to provide them resources. Right. And that is a real space. Now, back to what you were saying, it takes a person experience, I think, to be like, you know what, that don't even matter to me no more. It don't even matter, baby. Take your little money and your little resources, and I hope you do well. God bless you.
Maturity.
Now, you done pissed me off, but just know I ain't gonna help you no more, but I really hope the best for you.
That's maturity and humility.
You have to be able to spot people who are just users.
Absolutely. But you gotta grow. But you have to grow to that point. You have to really grow to that point.
Because I feel like I can spot bullshit from a mile away. I can tell if I help you that you either be on bullshit or you're a person that's really trying out here and I can really give you this information.
Real quick, I want to get some more stuff from the audience.
You got the next one.
There's a difference from helping somebody and then dragging them along.
So she said, so for people who can't hear it, she said there's a difference between helping somebody because they can't hear you and dragging them along. I want a little bit more. So what? I want a little bit more. So what are more things that St. Louis needs?
I got one. Hospitality.
Hospitality. How you fix hospitality?
That's your space.
Yo, I think it's everybody's space. Hospitality. Because I think if you, first of all, have some for yourself in your own house. Let me start there. The way that we treat people, we be having some high expectations of people that don't even know what that means. They don't even know what hospitality is. They don't know what it's like to be kind and to be nice because whatever their background is, they probably weren't, either somebody was mean to them and that generational curse has literally cursed them throughout their entire lineage. So I think it starts with, first of all, knowing what the hell is wrong with you? I said that. First of all, because there are actions that we have, and there are certain characteristics that we have. We really don't even know where they came from. You have to really take that deep dive into yourself and figure out what the hell's wrong with you. When you figure that out, then you'll know the difference on the opposite of how you need to treat somebody. So hospitality begins in your own house. It begins in your own upbringing. What's it like to be friendly? What's it like to accommodate? If you don't keep a clean house, I don't expect to come to your event and it be organized and clean. Not me. Like if I know that about you, I might be like, I ain't going over there. They don't even clean up.
Good. What's some more things that St. Louis need more of? I know y'all been stuff for the youth.
Yeah.
I mean,
fix that. So what are you doing? Or what's the fix for that?
We're working on it. I mean, right now we need more. For my organization, we focus on men and young boys. We need more men
in the Man Up organization.
Yeah, we have. 3 schools that we partnered with back in 2019, and we dropped all 3 of them.
Sign deal right now.
No, for real. I want to learn more about the barbershop
because.
I got you with that too. But I also have a mentoring group with the kids. It's called Gentlemen of Vision and Young Men of Vision. So that started at Riverview Gardens High School with Mr. Warden and Mr. Paul Albee.
Right.
I was one of the first classes that came out. Yeah, we can make some stuff happen. This is a national. This is like a so the thing of it is, you know what I'm saying, we basically started with 2 men and 1 vision. You know what I'm saying? What that do is that gives the guys something to look up to, the younger guys. So we taught them things as far as like stuff that you're gonna need to know business wise, how to tie a tie and stuff like that, how to actually conduct a meeting, agenda, stuff like that. So that's what we got going on right now. So we do got some stuff about it.
We got some stuff, but what do we need? We need more people that's involved, more volunteers, more people that's willing to help.
Volunteer. Absolutely, more volunteers. Yeah, because the ratio to men you can have for youth and stuff like that at these events. And then just really collaborate. Yeah, getting more resources out there so we can do bigger events.
All right, y'all, more things. Come on.
Wait, can I add to that real quick?
Some self-esteem.
They keep thinking that they're going to go to Texas and Atlanta and that's going to change them and that's what's going to make them blow up. Start here.
Self-esteem.
But it does.
What we gonna do? What we gonna? Listen, we fixing problems right now. What we finna do for self-esteem in people?
I would say provide an example. I think it goes back, and I'm totally not trying to be redundant. I think once you know what self-esteem is, not just you walking around and not being confident in yourself. Self-esteem is actually knowing your value and your worth and taking time to get to know you. I think if you provide that example and start having conversations, you were saying earlier, like just a second ago, like you need more men and all that. And I was saying, I want to add to that. Not only you don't just need quantity, you need quality as well. You need men of skill, you need men of valor, men that know how.
You sign up Louis.
How to help to raise and train those that are in need of that, because you can have a whole bunch of men signing up to volunteer all you want, but if the young men ain't learning nothing, it's a failure. You know what I mean?
So you like, okay, we got the numbers, quality mentors.
But we need the quality. I love that you said self-esteem because you're right. They go to other cities. Matter of fact, I want to say I went to other cities. After school, I went to Chicago. I went to Kansas City. I was just trying to like make it big. I knew I wanted to work in entertainment, do all that, and I didn't have nothing. I was in Chicago making $15 an hour. Thought I was going to Cheesecake Factory. I was really doing something.
But
I was really treating myself.
I feel like people say that, and I feel like I'm a prime example. Like, I didn't find myself in self-esteem until I left my surroundings and I moved to Texas. So when people be like, oh, you move out of town, like, it's not going to change you, but it does because it gets you out of your surroundings and what you're used to, and you have to open up your mind to different people from different places, and you're put in different situations to where you find yourself. So I do tell people, leave your hometown. Yeah, you might not blow up, but you're gonna learn so much different things about yourself. Like, I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago when I lived here from what I am now. Been in Dallas 7 years. Like, I'm so much greater.
But they don't work for everybody.
But you can't say it's not gonna work for any.
No, but what people try to do is they be like, St. Louis is the problem. They try to down St. Louis and say,
right.
Oh, St. Louis, they don't support you. We the problem.
I don't feel like St. Louis is the problem. They mean like it's less support than that you get out of other places.
I don't even have to promote my businesses.
But everybody don't get that. Like you just said.
So real quick, y'all, we're running out of time. The battery is flashing. All right, how do we network how do people from out of town network in St. Louis? Where do you go? This is the last thing that we're going to go off
What's
of.
your question?
How do people network in St. Louis? What do you do? Where do you go?
Oh.
You mean it's like, what do we do?
Network.
Like, what do we do?
When somebody come from Atlanta, they want to network with people from St. Louis. What's the first thing they should do?
They should come to a PL Creators event. Period. No.
STL Barber Vs
Right. It's all right.
Bring your butt to House of Soul.
Hey, you need your house clean. STL Professional Cleaning Service. Please hit me up. We do commercial. We do homes. We are maids. We are everything you need. So just hit me up.
I'm talking about networking.
No, I'm
Dre, because they talk. If you want to network,
same page.
I mean, unfortunately, we have some young professional network scenes, but it's not as often as I would like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say first hit of event, right? That's where the first place is to see what's going on in the city, and then after that, I mean, I would say try to find a co-working space. I mean, I have one down at the Cortex and stuff like that. I run to a lot of individuals. They have a lot of events going on, and then every Tuesday, I think they have their network event, down there. So that's just kind of how I would.
Listen.
Go to Facebook.
Look, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in. We about to wrap it up. All right. We want to give a shout out and a hand clap for our guests today, Paul and Andre Walker. And this concludes our episode of Good Enough. Good. Hey. All right. Let's turn the music on. Good job.